Hello and welcome to my market update. Today I have Andy Hassler here from NPI Home Inspections. Welcome Andy to the update.
Hi Harold, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Well, can you, just to get into it, can you share your background, your history with home inspections?
Okay, prior to being a home inspector, I was a general contractor here in the area. My father and I built over 79 homes here in the Ventura County area.
Okay.
I've done a number of remodels, kitchens, bathrooms, roof replacements, and so on. As the construction trade evolved, I evolved as well,
Okay.
and kind of took a different road, if you will, and kind of put my experiences to a great use there, where I could help out folks in buying and selling a home.
Nice.
And the
Nice.
home inspection aspect came and it fit really well.
Nice, nice. Well, good. So some of the things that the sellers and buyers typically ask me are, what are you looking for when you're going through in a home inspection? What are the things you're checking for?
Well, first and foremost, Harold, we're looking for health and safety issues. We want to make sure that the house is
Okay.
safe and it's going to be a great place for the buyers to inhabit, and it's not going to have any issues with big ticket repairs in the near future or even in the long term. We just want to make sure that everything is working as it should,
Okay.
and there's not going to be any scary aspects that will come up
Right.
later on.
Right. So speaking of big tickets, what are some of the red flags you may come across in home inspection? What are the things that kind of meet that threshold of, hey, these are some things you need to be aware of?
Right. Usually a lot of things that are big ticket items such as the roof, foundation, plumbing, electrical systems, heating and air systems can all be pretty large ticket items. I want to make sure that we spend a lot of time on those items to make sure that they are in fact functioning as they should, that they're
Okay.
properly installed, that there are no code infractions, and that the homeowner can use those systems in a way in which it'll provide them service for years to come.
Nice, nice. So are there times when you typically recommend a specialist come in to check certain aspects?
Yeah, as an example, let's say I'm looking at a roof and I find multiple issues that would require further evaluation or repair. We might suggest having a roofing contractor come in, not only look at those issues more closely, but then also provide a financial overview of what it would take to get those items repaired, and then provide also a warranty, if you will, to further protect the home buyer.
Okay, so really give the buyer kind of a breakdown of what it's going to cost, the costs involved of if you've got an issue that at stake, like a red flag, a furnace or a roof, that sort of thing, just to get somebody else to get a second opinion on that.
Exactly. The home inspection is kind of like a general practitioner, if you will. Somebody comes to me and they have a cough. I'm not sure if it's a
Right.
postnasal drip or if it's tuberculosis. So we're going to run several tests on each of the items,
Okay.
identify what those problems are, and then perhaps bring in a specialist to further evaluate what those issues really are.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So do you kind of prioritize things, and how do you, in terms of concerns?
And national property inspections, all of our items are either acceptable, that means they perform a specific standard, they're not present, they're not inspected, or they might be marginally defective.
Okay.
With our software, all of the items that are defective or marginally defective will be pulled into a summary to make it easier for the reader, and that way those items will be of more concern, that would be higher priority, and that'll make it easier to identify in our report.
Nice. And so you include photos with that
Yes,
too
we
as
do.
well?
Mhm.
Nice. Okay. So benefits, let's kind of go into the benefit side for the seller. What's the benefit of the seller having a home inspection? They're probably a little scared.
Yeah, sometimes people don't want to find out.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a great tool for sellers because then they know exactly the condition of the house and they can establish a fair market value based on these findings. Oftentimes in a traditional sale where a seller might put a house on the market and they don't really know the exact condition of their house, when the buyer brings in their inspector and they have a list of items that need to be repaired, that opens up a whole nother level of negotiation at that point. If a seller does that inspection on the front end, that second layer of negotiation is usually minimized or reduced or eliminated.
That makes sense.
So it makes a better prospect for the seller. They usually get a higher price. Their transaction goes through quicker. And in addition to that, it relieves them of liability in the future.
Right. That makes sense. So occasionally I get buyers that go, well, why do I need a home inspection?
For just that, of all the items that we've maintained,
Yeah.
there are a lot of, homeowners aren't always contractors and contractors aren't always inspectors.
Right.
We have specialized tools that enable us to identify specific problems. It's a good idea that you're making the largest purchase of your life. You want to know exactly what it is that you're purchasing. So from a buyer's perspective, it's critical to get a home inspection.
Right.
In addition to that, we provide insurances that in the event that we miss something, we've got you covered.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, because really, it's what you're saying is they can't always rely on the seller's disclosure statements, right?
Correct. And the sellers, in all effort, may not be aware of certain issues. Whereas we're looking in areas that probably don't get a regular set of eyes.
Right. That makes sense. That's true. Well, Andy, if they have more questions about this process, how do they reach you?
I'm happy to take your call. The best way is my cell phone, 805-233-1777.
Excellent. Well, thanks again for coming. If you have more questions about buying or selling, give me a call, 805-339-3516. Thanks.